everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I am going to be ranking my high-end eyeshadow palettes. I don't have many of them, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys what I have and how I feel that if they're worthy enough to kind of like spending a lot of money on these palettes, because majority of these palettes I got like a discount, or I did buy on like the full price because I just really wanted them, and I kind of want to rank them as to like I don't feel is worth that amount to my absolute favorite kind of out of the collection, and that I feel is worth the money, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to start off with the eyeshadow palette that's in my collection that I really don't think is worth it in my opinion, and this is going to be no surprise to some people who kind of seen some of my previous videos, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury Mesmerizing Maroon palette. So this is a quad which is worth £43, and I didn't pay that £43 because I don't think I ever will, just for future reference. I've only ever tried like 2 Charlotte Tilbury items, the other being a liquid lipstick which I think was like £25, which is a very nice liquid lipstick as well, but again I didn't pay full price for them. So when I got this palette I was really excited because obviously she has a reputation of like saying some really like expensive makeup and it being pretty good, and when I was looking forward to trying this I was like, okay, I can do a whole look with this because it literally tells you the steps on how to use it. And so the first time I used it I was like, there's barely any pigment for me. Like I like to have my eyeshadows popping and like there, and I'm gonna swatch some of these for you guys just because I just kind of want to like how I feel towards it. So this shade is called well, okay, this is the priming shade. So obviously you've got like a really gorgeous shimmer that's absolutely really nice. I mean, the first time I used it I don't think I used it correctly, but even the second time that I've used it, a couple of other times, I'm not been the biggest fan. This is the third one, and you only get one matte shade, which is fair enough. I mean, that's just one swipe, but then when I do it again it kind of just blends out and doesn't really work. And for me, I know that she is a high-end brand, like obviously, so I'm just getting a white, like there's no doubt that people are buying her stuff because so many people talk about her magic cream when it's like what, 50-60 pounds just for a small tub of moisturizer. I for one don't fall into that category just because I've kind of grown up not with a lot of money anyway, and I just kind of am very like stingy when it comes to making decisions on what I really want to try when it comes to makeup. And the fact that I got this on a discount, which is probably perfect for me because I just know in the future I wouldn't want to spend £43 on a quad. I know she has the bigger ones that I think are like £60. That one I believe you probably will get more for your money, but this quad, not really for me. So moving on, I did pay full price for this palette because I was an idiot, rushed out to get it, and then I was just really excited to get it basically. So this is the Urban Decay Prince palette. I know a lot of people not very happy with Urban Decay when this collaboration was released. I actually quite like the collaboration, I mean including the other stuff as well, but this was £49 and I do regret spending £49 because literally I would say a week or two later it like slashed the price, it went half price, and I just rushed out and bought it because I'm a big Prince fan. I obviously like makeup, and you know what, the shades at the time did really appeal to me, but I don't reach for this much anymore. When looking on the Urban Decay website now, I think it's like £25. I still think that's too expensive for this palette. The times I've used it I do quite like it, so I'm again gonna swatch some of the shades for you. So we've got Raspberry Beret, which I do think is a really gorgeous shimmer, like a pink shimmer. This is a very purple heavy palette, I guess, because of Prince basically. This is Delirious. That is a really nice purple shade as well. And let's do a blue. So we'll do a matte blue. This is Computer Blue. again, these swatches I have to do like twice, but when it comes to spending £49, I do regret spending that much money. And although it's kind of more of kind of a fan keep, like it's kind of more a thing for my collection, it's buried underneath all of my other palettes, and I do feel like I should have waited a bit longer for it. Although the other Urban Decay like collaborations that they've done, like I know they did an Eternals one recently. The only thing I got from them was a lipstick that I got on a discount in Debenhams, but I wouldn't personally pay that much money for another eyeshadow palette. I think the palette must have been in like the £50-60 amount, and that was a bit too much. But yeah, when it comes to this one, I just don't think for £49 it was worth it. So now we're going on to an eyeshadow palette that I don't actually think is available anymore, but I wanted to talk about it because I still absolutely love this palette, but I got it on a discount. So normally this is the Doll Beauty Peaches and Pop Tarts palette. This is absolutely like one of my favorite like red pink tone palettes ever. You get these two gorgeous kind of glitters at the top that I rarely use, but if you put down a nice glue, they will stand out so much. So originally this palette was £40, and I think I got it for 20 because they were discontinuing it. But I really think that like we're getting into like the good territory now. So those two palettes at the beginning were probably like my least favorite out of what I feel is worth for the money. So when it comes to this palette, they did come out with two varieties. Can't remember what the other one's called, but when I got this one at like £20, I was so happy. But I probably would have spent £40 on this because this is, well, considering this is absolutely massive as well, like it's such a waste of tin. But you get a decent, well, I would say decent, it's not a decent size mirror. You get like a little love heart, and you've still got like at least 60% available. That could have been a bigger mirror. But when you look at the shades, it's stunning. Like these have been so pigmented. Even now when like this has been like discontinued, this is a shade chocolate orange, sorry. I still feel like this palette will be in my collection for a while. This is Gum, and let's do a shimmer. This is the shade Rush, and I do feel like Doll Beauty do some amazing products. I recently had to get rid of one of their blushes because it started to smell, and so I was like, I can't wear this anymore. And I'm sure that's probably going to happen with this palette soon, but I just really enjoy this palette. It has been a while since I've used it just because I have been using so many other like newer palettes, if that makes sense. So I do try a lot of new stuff on my channel just because I want a bit of variety. But when it comes to like certain looks that I want to do, I do go to this palette quite a lot. And like I said, when it was £40, I highly recommend it. I don't know if you can still get it on their website anymore, but I thought I would speak about it just because it is still part of my collection that is still a bit of a high end. And I know that when I say high end, for me, I would say £35 plus. There were two other palettes that I wanted to talk about, but they didn't fall within my kind of criteria, but they would have been quite lower on my list anyway. I'll probably show you those at the end. So the next palette that I want to talk about is the Be Perfect Carnival palette. So this is the first Carnival palette, and this was £39.95. So I recently purchased this, and you can still get it, and it comes with two highlighters as well. It's got a really great shadow like shade selection. For me, I feel like I'm not too I don't know what the word is, experimental when it comes to my makeup, because I'm not like an MUA. I haven't been doing, I've been a fan of makeup for about like 6 or 7 years now, like properly. And when I look at this palette, I was kind of like, okay, I can use a lot of these palettes, a lot of these shades kind of like here and there. But when it comes like all together, I just kind of struggled to use it. When it is like $39.95, I do feel like you get so much in here, and the shades themselves are really gorgeous. Like these greens are amazing. This is called Breezy, so this is like a blue green. This is like such a stunning like mermaid shade that I absolutely love. Let's go for another green. This is called Envy, and I know this palette has been out for a while, so it's not like it's a really old palette, you still can get it, but I always look out for like discounts because I am just that gal. Let's go to Rowdy. So again, I have used this palette quite a few times. This shade is struggling. I mean, I don't know if this is like an older palette that they might have sent me, but I mean, I have had it for a few months, but that shouldn't really matter towards it. But let's look at one more shade to kind of, let's look at Queenie. So this is like a beautiful gold. That yeah, that's stunning. And I mean, I think I got this for maybe £20, less than that. Actually, I think I got it for like £15. I can't remember, but I definitely got it on like a really affordable price, so that's why I got it. Like I said, I rarely buy certain eyeshadow palettes at full price just because I have so many other palettes in my collection that I feel like these ones can wait, and that's why I waited so long for this one, because I actually tried a couple of other Be Perfect palettes before I got this one, and I do really like it. I just don't feel like it's my favourite Be Perfect, because I do have another one that I'll be talking about later. But yeah, this one is good. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people do think this is probably one of the best ones, which, you know, your opinion of course, and I know a lot of people do like the second Carnival, like the Tahiti palette, which I would love to try, but I just have a dupe for it, so I just want to use that one and be quite cheeky. So next we're going to talk about one of my more, it's not recent, but it's been like since last year, so it's not that old, but it's the Melt Cosmetics Love and Butterflies palette. I got this at full price because I got it for myself as a birthday gift, so it came out like just around October, November time, and this was $49.99. I got this on Beauty Bay. I mean, obviously I didn't really pay for shipping and stuff, but in the beginning I was like, I will pay whatever they want, and then I was kind of like, yeah, £50 is a pretty standard price for Melt Cosmetics, and the amount of shades that you do get in here is stunning. Like, I have tried this palette a few times on my channel. The first time I liked it, the second time I didn't as much, so I think I was doing a green look at the time. It just didn't really work for me, and now that I use it quite frequently, like if I'm going on a night out or if I'm doing something for the day, I always reach for this palette, and I don't know why. I think I'm trying to like use it to kind of justify me spending £50 on it, because it's not like the most affordable palette, and when I did use it a couple of times, some of the times it just didn't really work as well. But I want to swatch some of the shades. I can't pronounce a lot of these words, I apologize, so I'm just gonna swatch them and show you guys. But this was like one of their more recent collaborations, and I know a lot of people do have like continuity issues when it comes to Melt Cosmetics, when it comes to their pigment, but I feel like the ones that I have tried, I've tried 2 palettes from them. I will be talking about the other, actually I have 3 that I've tried. One of them will be coming later, spoilers, but I do feel like this palette has grown on me so much over the past couple of months, because I feel like even though it's £50, I am really enjoying Melt Cosmetics at the moment. I don't know what it is. I mean, I was really annoyed at myself that I did miss their Beetlejuice collaboration, because I know a lot of people at the time were raving about it, saying it was amazing, and now obviously because it was a limited edition, if I had known how good Melt were at the time, I would have picked it up. And the thing is, it wasn't even that long ago, so that's how long I've kind of not been in the loop when it comes to Melt Cosmetics. But I absolutely love this palette. Like, the packaging is absolutely stunning. The cardboard box has like a velvet feel to it, and no other palette that I have has that much kind of wowness when it comes to just even the packaging. So let's go on to another palette, and this is one of this is a palette that I did get recently, but I didn't pay full price because one of my friends had an extra one, so I picked it up. But I've been in love with this palette, and it's the P. Louise Watch the Queen Conquer palette. This is a double palette, so I understand why the price was so high. So normally this is £60, and I think I bought it from my friend for like 30 something pounds. Absolutely worth it. I was very like umming and ahhing about buying this, but then I saw Makeup by Missa actually review it, and she did some amazing looks. She swatched them all. I watched them and I was like, I want this palette. And at the time, actually I think now it's still on discount, like it was part of her Black Friday like her Black Friday deals or something, but you can still buy this palette, and this is just side one, so that's like, those purples are absolutely amazing, and then on the other side you get like a lot more like redder and yellow tones, which is like right up my street. I honestly think that this is worth £60. You get 2 palettes basically, and you get a big selection of the rainbow. So let me swatch some of like the purple side. So this is obviously not purple, but this is the shade Capture. Let's do Grandmaster, which is a purple. These ones are so buildable. Like if I was good at makeup, I think I could do some amazing looks with them, because you have so much variety going for it. Like you have the purples and then the pinks, and then you've got these kind of like softer tones, and then their shimmers are always outstanding. Like this is in the shade Strategy. I absolutely love it. Let me go on to the other side. I keep my plastic on these just so I don't ruin the mirror, I guess. Not that it's so important, but I do feel like keeping the mirror intact is important. So this is My Turn, which is a gorgeous red, and then let's go on to one more shimmer. We're going to go in with Victory, which is this shade. It's kind of like a yellow tone just here, and I do feel like, again, £60 is a lot of money, like without a doubt, but I do kind of feel like it's worth it. The fact that you get £30 for like each side. It's a big palette though, like it's a chunky palette, and if you don't have anywhere to store it, then of course it might not be up your street, or if you're not a fan of P. Louise and stuff like that. But her packaging, I feel like her makeup is just without a doubt one of the best kind of formulas out there. Like she comes out with a lot of stuff like a lot of stuff very frequently, but I think the stuff that she does come out with is pretty good. Okay, so now we only have like 3 palettes left. So as I mentioned, I was going to talk about Be Perfect. So this is one of my most recent purchases as well. So this is the Carnival Antidote palette. This is normally £39.95. I absolutely think this is worth it. I got it for £20. I think I got it for yeah, I got it at it was like St. Patrick's Day discount. I mean, I don't know why brand, they could just choose random like events to give discounts. I'm not complaining, but I was very umming and ahhing about buying this palette, but as soon as I saw that it was that £20, I was like, I'm all over this, because it's absolutely stunning. I feel like I could use all of these shades just because it's such a crazy selection. But again, let's do some swatching because my arm has gone like all red but it's definitely worth it. I haven't used all of the shades because again, it's such a big palette. This is the shade Siren, so that is, ooh. Okay, let's go in with Clover. So this is a gorgeous green. Get some swatching going. That's a little bit funny. Some of these shades are a bit dry. I don't know if it's because I've used them before and they just might have dried out. I have no idea. This is one of my favorite shades, Pin Up. This is a gorgeous like copper shade. Ooh, I like it. This is October, which is obviously one of the greatest months of the year, the best months of the year. And let's look at maybe one more shade. I would say Spiced Coral, which is this kind of like light orange. And I know that again, this is a big ass palette, so it's not easy to store. I mean, I have these kind of crates that I put my makeup, my eyeshadow palettes in. It's not the best for it, but I really have nowhere else to put them. Like my flat is very small. I don't have a room. I don't have like a beauty room, so hopefully one day I will. But one day I'll be able to store all this stuff properly. But the fact that I put these in my crates, but they're very safe, so they're all kind of like piled on top of each other, and I do keep all the packaging for most of my palettes because I don't want them ruined. But when I think about if it's worth £40, absolutely. You get how many shades in here? You get, there's 29 matte shades and then there's 16 creamy shimmers. So that is I can't even count how much that is because my brain is so like not there. But I honestly don't know why I slept on this palette. I was really kind of, again, I'm in R-ing because £40 again is a lot of money for me to give on just one palette. And I know a lot of brands, like companies these days, you can do like Klarna, like you can pay monthly, which I do think is a great idea, especially if you do have a steady income, because if you know you're going to get paid on a certain day, you will have money. And if you say you're able to save a bit of money towards, you know, some makeup to treat yourself, then absolutely go for it. So the last two palettes that I have now, so next one that I have is Modern Renaissance by ABH. I only got this like last year because, again, I'm so out of the loop. It is a little bit pricey still. It's £43. But my husband kindly got this for me as an anniversary gift. I mention that all the time because otherwise I would not have purchased this. But then I want to know how great this palette is. I know when this came out, everyone was talking about it and I never understood the hype, but now I do. Every time I use this palette, it never disappoints me. I'm sure you've seen it before because it's one of the most well-known palettes out there. So I'm going to just do some swatching, just because why the hell not. So this is Red Ochre. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Then we've got Love Letter. This is gorgeous. I just love the way that they will blend in together because I do struggle with blending. Like my makeup does look very like harsh sometimes when I am like just doing it, but I feel like the more I use this, the easier I feel like I can blend some of my shadows. Again, I do feel like £43, I know it's because of like the quality and the name, so not even like the quality is worth it, but you know, ABH are a very well-known brand. They're quite a high-end brand. I've not tried anything else that they've done apart from the mascara, but that came in a little set when I purchased this, because you get like a little bag and you get a mascara, which is, I think it's like a full-size mascara as well, and then this on Beauty Bay, and I think it was definitely around the £45 mark, which already in itself is pretty good because this is £43. So yeah, I know everyone talks about this and loves it, but I understand the hype now. So now we're going on to my last eyeshadow palette, and this is no surprise. So this is the Melt Cosmetic Smoke Sessions palette. I got this at the same time as the ABH, and this is normally £40. So when I first, this is like the first thing I tried by Melt Cosmetics, and this is when I was going through like my green phase, not my green phase, but my green color phase, because I have always wanted to try this palette because of how stunning it is. I think I have used every single shade in this palette and not been disappointed. I'm not going to swatch the whole palette because we'll be here all day, but some of these shades are just so great, and I do have kind of like a dupe for this palette. I might do a video kind of talking about it. This is Granddaddy, and then you've got Mean Green. The shimmers in this are really out of this world. Like, I feel like for £40 you can do so much with this palette. This is Blue Dream. So I really do love this palette, and honestly I use it quite frequently. I think it's been like a few weeks since I have tried it, but again, I have so many palettes that I try that I cannot honestly use the same palettes like every day, because I do want to mix things up a bit. I don't want to like stick to one theme and it be boring, and I guess, yeah, this was what I love when it comes to like greens, because there's such an array of greens that you can do so many different looks with it. Although you only get 2 matte shades, the rest are shimmers, but if you want to incorporate another palette or another shade into it, go for it. But I do think £40 is pretty generous for this, and I know that there is the Blueprint palette that I do really want to try, but I did recently buy the Gemini 2 palette because that was like a higher priority on my list, even though it did turn up broken. If you haven't seen my video, please check it out, because I do like, I have like swatches, not live swatches, but I get to use the palette and talk about it and blah blah blah, so check that out if you want to. So I just want to quickly show you those 2 palettes that I spoke about before, and I thought that they were within like the higher end range, but they are high-end brands. So the first one is the Nars Mini Orgasm palette, and then the Too Faced Light My Fire palette. I never really use Too Faced much anymore, just because their stuff is so samey, but I really like this palette. This would have gone like kind of slap bang in the middle because the shades are so gorgeous. Every time I kind of want to go out somewhere, if I'm putting on my makeup after work and I'm outside, I take this because it's so compact and it is just a great selection of shades. This one would have been right at the bottom just because I didn't spend, normally I think it's like £25 or it's like £31 or something. It's so tiny, it's like the size of my finger, like my index finger. When I received it in the post, I was like, is this a joke? Look how small this is. I could not get anything to work with this palette. I think I'd use this as a highlighter, and it is gorgeous as a highlighter, like you can see that, but this is not worth 30 something pounds. Absolutely not. When I used this pink shade, there was nothing there, like nothing. I tried, like I'm trying to swatch it, I'm not even taking the piss, like it's so patchy and just horrible, and I don't want to throw it away because I spent money, and I rarely throw away like my eyeshadow palettes because again they're like landfills and all this other shit as well, and I know I'm probably not helping by buying this and stuff like that, but I just don't feel like this is worth it at all. And I know you can get it on discount now because it's been out for a while and Nars are always coming out with new stuff, but yeah, don't buy it. But yeah, that is kind of it. That's me ranking my eyeshadow palettes from like what I feel is most valuable to, no, other way around, least valuable to like what I feel like is definitely worth the money. I hope it has been intriguing, like, you know, you took something out of it. I do want to do some more makeup spotlights in the future because I've got a bit of a list of what I want to do because I find random ideas sometimes. Let me know what your palette, like your favorite palette is, and do you think it's worth like the high-end price? And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias because I'm always active on there. Hope you guys are doing really well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.